Hi, besties. Our feature sponsor for this month is Your Destiny Essentials. Your Destiny Essentials instills the love of self, self-acceptance, self-worth, and a genuine love of others through handmade products infused with all natural, organic, and eco-friendly ingredients that are essential for healthier skin and hair. Products include rose oils, floral spritz, beard oil for men, body butter, and more. These items can be purchased on the YDE Skincare Co. Etsy shop. Get essentially healthier hair and skin today. Peace.
Absolutely. So now it's time for tea time.
Yay!
And Wendell, that's why you are here, because we need to know what, first of all.
Oh, look.
Let me tell you something, okay?
Listen.
So I love how every page is a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and if you, like every page would be like, and you would think that this was bad, but it only gets worse.
Yes. It's like, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it's like
every page.
So then you got to keep turning. I mean, what else is there to do?
It's so funny because I'm hooked by the title of it.
Yes.
I love Ty Tribbett. So his album has a song on here and it'd be like, dun, 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 and it's The Devil Thought He Had Me. So every time I look at the cover, I'd be like, yeah, like thump, because that's such a powerful song that definitely got me through when I was living in North Carolina. Oh, Jesus, we won't go there, but that was a moment in my life. So that this title it struck me because those lyrics did something to me and it all brought it together. So I was like, wow, this is amazing.
So why don't we start by you telling us what the title means to you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? The Devil Thought He Had Me. I actually got it from Ty Tribbett. When I got introduced to church, when my wife was my girlfriend at the time, and she introduced me to Unity Gospel House of Prayer in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I heard that song for the first time. And when I heard that song, man, and it was like God just spoke to me and said, man, that's the title of your book. Now, I already wanted to write a book since I was like 19 years old, but just never knew how to even start, never been around anybody that ever wrote a book, never been around nobody that did nothing but sell drugs. So I didn't even know where to start. And when I heard that song, I'm sitting in Unity one Sunday and I heard that song. And it was like God spoke to me and just said, man, that's the title of the book. And I said, I told my wife, I said, man, I think God told me, man, the title of my book is that song. And when he got to breaking everything down to me as I started growing spiritually, and he started breaking everything down to me about grace and everything like that, then he really solidified it for me and told me, man, that's the name of the book. And we gonna go from there. And man, this where we at right now.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Man, I love it.
Yes. So let's also get some background stats. So we know that you're married. It's been 7 years. Shouts out to the wife. Tell us how old you are and how many children you have.
Man, I'm 39 years old. Which one of y'all are Capricorn?
That's me.
Okay, hey, my Capricorn sister.
See, I be feeling it, and I just knew.
You know, I be listening to you guys' podcasts all the time. So y'all had some ladies on one time, and y'all was all discussing zodiac signs, and a couple of y'all was Capricorns. I was like, oh, okay, my Capricorn sister. So, man, I'm 40 years old. Man, I have 11 children, 10 biologically, 1 through marriage. We don't call them steps over here. That's my son. I come from Chicago, Illinois. I'm born and raised in Chicago all my life. Moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin in 2011, where I met my beautiful wife, and she introduced me to a church, Unity Gospel House of Prayer. She told me one day, she said, "Man, let's just go to church." And the thing about it is, man, I done tried so many things out my life. I've never tried God, didn't know nothing about God. And the way that I was taught is, man, as long as you believe, you saved. You know, as long as you believe in God, you good. You know, so and actually, it ultimately been the best decision of my life to move to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You know, I'm not a Bucks fan. I'm not, you know, I'm not going.
Hey, it's all good.
I will say though.
But you know what though? I'm proud of the Bucks because I'm happy for what it did to the city.
There we go.
You know,
and that's what kind of fan I am.
Yeah, it brought so many people together. It kept the violence and stuff down. It made the whole city. It actually made the whole state just come together as one because the win didn't care about no skin color, nothing. It was just a win for everybody. So that's why I enjoyed it, and it was really needed at the time. You know, that's why I say God makes no mistakes because He knew what we need at all times, and He knew right now the city of Milwaukee needed that because just like you said, it's a lot of people that's still thriving off, you know, when the Bucks won. So it's just keeping tempers, you know, from flaring up and, you know, attitudes and all the shooting and all the things that's going on right now. So, man, I'm proud to say that, man, Milwaukee is my second home.
That's good. Good. My stepdad was also from Chicago, so I would go up every summer. And he actually, so before I was a Bucks fan, I'm a thoroughbred Bulls fan. So when you reference them in those that I was gonna say the two three-peats, I was like, well, come on, because when you kept talking about Chicago, I was like, he got to talk about the Bulls.
Listen,
at some point.
Gotcha.
And it was real quick, maybe second, third chapter, something like that. I was like, and there they are. Now we're good. Before then, I was like, I made a note, like,
right. He
ain't no real right.
That is so funny because as I'm reading, because my mom is also from Chicago, born and raised.
Yes, she is.
And when you said low end, that's what stuck to me because I'm like, that's my mama. Like my mama is low end, so I know this person. Like he probably my cousin because I mean, we family at this point. Right.
And I can hear the Chicago.
Yes, you are Chicago through and through.
You're Chicago through and through.
For sure. I love it. So yes, my mom, shout out to my mom. I know she's gonna listen to this. So I'm sure she's gonna have all kind of questions and she's gonna be like, okay, do he know this person? So we'll see after the show.
Yeah, she's gonna be the one comment.
Yes.
Like,
okay.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yes.
Yeah, Chi-Town.
Chi-Town.
But so the book actually starts with you where you're talking about you being in foster care, and then you end up going back home. So tell us, what was it like being in foster care? You kind of talk about it in the book, but like the contrast.
Yeah, and you know what? And I tell people this all the time. Like foster care was probably the best thing that ever happened to me besides moving to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Because one thing about my foster parents, man, they loved us. They loved me and my brother. You know, it was 4 of my mom's children at the time. 4 of us went into foster care. My 2 sisters, they went to a home, a real nice, loving home. And then me and my brother, we went to a real nice, loving home. And they taught me something about they taught me about morals. They taught me about education. They taught me why it was, you know, important to learn how to read and write. Because before I went to foster care, I didn't know none of those things. I didn't know how to read and write because, and there's no knock to my mom at all. You know, I love my mom to death. There's no knock to her at all, but education was not on the forefront of my household, you know. And the thing about it is my mom was only teaching us the things that she knew, and it wasn't on the forefront from my grandmother. You know, education was not on the forefront. So being in foster care, man, it really taught me so much. It taught me that love was real, that you can really endure love from a parent. Because even though that I loved my mom, I didn't know if my mom loved us, you know. And the thing about it is that she didn't love us. She just loved us the way that she knew how to love, you know. So that's what I really got out of being in foster care. And that's why even right now to this day, I still communicate with my foster parents.
I was going to ask that as well. That's amazing.
My foster dad, he died like 3 years ago. He passed away. But my foster mom, yeah, man, I communicate with her every day, like often, like we talk all the time, you know, because at the end of the day, man, that's still my mom. Like she taught me those things as a child that all children need. She taught me love. She taught me how to love. And I needed that, especially growing up in the city of Chicago, where it's easily to say, you know what, we're going to put this love to the back seat and we gonna go this way because love ain't getting, you know. And I think we all, you know, just like you was just bragging about your son, we all need that, you know. All of our children need that, just to say, man, if don't nobody believe in you, just know mom believe in you, dad believe in you, you can do everything that's possible if all you got to do is put your mind to it. So we all need that as children, man. And I love my foster mom and my foster dad, because they did that. And even they children that they had, they embraced us. You know, they embraced us, and this wasn't, oh, this my foster brother. It was, this my brother. Aww. You know, these are my brothers. So, you know, we needed that coming from, and at the time we was broken. You know, we was heartbroken. We was broken as children. We were so traumatized with what went on, the way that they came and took us from our mom. It was just so devastating. Like, we saw our mom one day and then they just came and took us away. You know, without no notice. Like, we didn't even get to see our mom before we left. It was just like, oh man, it's just, man, it was hard. It was really hard when you putting that on a 7-year-old child, 8-year-old child, that, man, all we know is mom, you know. So
I was actually wondering, why did you choose to start the story there? Like, did you consider that to be like a traumatic experience, or like, why was it so important that you literally started it there? It was actually, I believe it was you coming back home from foster care.
Yeah. Because I chose to start it there because I wanted the readers to understand that, you know, the foster care, and even how I break it down in the book, like showing the differences from living in the suburbs of Chicago, then living in the inner city of Chicago. I wanted the readers, that was going to captivate the readers to say, even because now, you know how many people that read the book ask me all the time, like, when you going to write a book before the foster home? You know,
that's all I'm saying.
Yes.
You know, so it was just something that was intriguing, that I knew that would get readers' attention, because I'm a reader. I read a lot of books. So, you know, even with that, you know, just being able to just keep my readers intrigued about, you know what I'm saying, man, he was in the foster care. How many people that's gonna pick up that book that was in foster care, that we starting from foster care, and they're gonna say, oh man, I can relate to that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I started the book from there, and then showed them, you know, how we can all be walking down this straight path of being this perfect life that we think we in, and then God will put us somewhere where we may not understand. Because even when you read the book, I hated when I came home. Like, that bothered me, you know, because I wasn't used to that type of life anymore. I was able to be a child, you know. But God put something in me to say, man, I'm going to teach you how to adapt to what's going on in your life, and you're going to adapt and you're going to get better from it. And that's what I did.
I love it. And you can totally feel that contrast while you're reading, because the way you described the foster home, it seemed like green grass, white picket fences, the air was warm, the sky is blue. Like, I felt all of that while you were explaining it. And I'm like, oh God. And then when you got back, and you was like, yeah, I'm back in the projects. And I was like, oh man, like I felt really sad, like, dang.
Exactly. When I said this book, I laughed, I cried, because the other thing is you show such a dichotomy, right? Of who you were in the foster home versus who you were in the projects, who you are now versus who you were then. And literally you'll be like, yes, because in 1 John 1 and whatever it says, and then you'll quote the scripture, and then on the next page you'll be like, yeah, and I was like, F her. And I was like, whoa. You know, listen. But it's like it just kind of shows the growth, the change. You know, where you were then, and putting it in real terms, right? And,
absolutely.
And just making it real.
It is.
Yeah, I was like, I know this grandma, but F her. Like I said. And I was like, oh my God. But, you know, it is what it is. Right?
And it felt very true to the time. I mean, in 1990, like,
I felt
like
it must have been the, not the, what was it? Because not the dedication. Oh, when it first starts out, the how did I get here? And you talked about a page. I said, now this has to be the 90s. And then I turned the page, and it was like it all started in the summer of 1990. I said, see, look.
Yes, I knew it was the 90s, because it just felt like it. And then 90s. If you grew up in, like, I would go to Chicago too in the
every
summer. And I have family members that lived in the project. So I know what, like, the climbing those stairs and being on the 8th floor.
I was like, the elevator work?
Right. And getting, like, just little stuff brought back my memories, like having the breakfast, like the breakfast program used to be in the, like, I remember going to that.
Absolutely.
So it triggered some memories that I had, like being in Chicago in the summer with relatives. So I was like, oh my God, the imagery.
This book is for sure a movie.
I will watch this movie. Oh my God, yes.
Or like a Netflix special or so. I don't know. It's something.
It's coming soon, man. I'm just waiting on somebody to reach out to me and say let's do it, man. I go on my Facebook and Instagram every day, and I tag Tyler Perry them in my thing every day. You know, just letting them know, man. Hey, I'm here. You know, and one thing I know, I learned consistency. Just be consistent. You know what I'm saying?
Send them the book.
I done sent everybody copies. I done sent everybody copies.
Send it to 50 Cent too. This seemed like right up his lane with all the shows.
Man, him too. I done did it to him too. So the thing about it is, where my faith is at right now, like, I never let nobody tell me that what can't happen. Because I know anything can happen. You know, all I got to do is believe. I'm not worried about what nobody else believe. You know, so, man, every day. And the thing about it is, it's not about money. Like, it's not about money. It's just about saving. If we could save, let's save as many souls as we possibly can out here. You know what I'm saying? Doing the same thing that you ladies are doing. I'm just doing it in a different dynamic. You know, I'm just doing it in a way that I know how to do it, you know? So only thing I do every day, man, I get up. Man, I got like 300 men I send messages to every day, just encouraging them, just to let them know. Like, we get on social media, it's I'm not gonna say social media is bad. It just got a bad reputation to it because people don't use social media the way that it should be used. And I just got on social. I just got a Facebook account in December. You know, and I ain't never had a Facebook account. But one thing that I've noticed is people are looking for hope on social media. You know, that's why they put all their business and stuff out there. So I believe as what God has placed in me, it's my duty, it's my job to get on there every day and just encourage. I'm going to give these young boys something nobody has ever given me. You know, and that's a chance, and that's real love to know that you can do whatever it is that you want to do if you want to do it. And if you guys listen to my the messages that I leave on my Facebook, I always say, if I could change the way you think, I could change the way you live. Because living starts with the way you think. A lot of people think like the way, because I live in the projects or because I live in the ghetto, I have to adapt. I'm a product of my environment. No, you're not. Poverty starts in your mindset. Do you believe that's what you are? Do you believe that because your dad wasn't in your life that you're gonna be a deadbeat dad or anything like that? But we have to break that cycle of how we think as a people, and a lot of us don't even know how to do it. So it's just I just get on there. I just anything that I can do every single day, man. I just do it. Like I just do. I love to see people smile. I love to see people, you know, conquer their dreams, go after their dreams. I love to see people just come up with a dream, because a lot of us don't even know, man, that it'd be heartbreaking to me sometimes, like, man, just talk about it, because I used to be that person. I thought that drugs was gonna save the world. Me selling drugs was gonna save the world, and it's really not. Like, you have so much to offer. How many women that you ladies meet every day that don't even know that they born with a purpose? Right. You know, and that's the same thing on our end. Yeah. That's the same thing on my end. There's so many guys that I bump into every day that don't even know that they born with a purpose.
Yeah. No, that's look.
You can say a whole word. Yeah, a whole lot of words.
A whole word. Ooh. But no, I agree, and I think it first starts with exposure. So thank God for your foster family for giving you a different lens. Right? Because a lot of times the reason why we have that mindset is because we can't see over the horizon, right? Our view is limited. So when we have those scales over our eyes and we can't see beyond where we are, then that's all we know. And you say that over and over in the book, like they just taught me what they knew. Yeah. You know what I mean? They just taught me what they knew. And it was one part where you said something like, kids do what they're told and they also do what they've seen. You may have said it in a different way, but something like that. And I think that that's where the cycles come in, right? And so it takes a big person you have to be intentional. First of all, because you have to realize that there's a cycle. You know, we've talked about breaking patterns, breaking generational curses, breaking cycles. You first have to know that it's even there.
Absolutely.
You know? And so, which brings me to, so, okay, you come back home and you're finally with your mom. Eventually you accept being at home.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden it becomes your job, you and your sister first, but then eventually you end up doing it to answer the phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us what you were answering.
Please talk about this, because I was shocked. I was like, oh my, this is what's happening.
Right. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is crazy. So please take it away, brother. Tell us what was going on.
So what happened was my uncle, he was a big time heroin dealer in Chicago. He was making $60,000-$70,000 a day selling heroin. So in Chicago, we have these things called lines. So what the line is somebody, they'll pass out these numbers. They'll pass out a number, and all of the heroin users have to call this number to get a code, whatever the code is for the day, so they can go to wherever they selling the heroin at and purchase the heroin. If you don't have a code, you can't get the drugs. So my uncle put it together. He had my mom. He used my mom's house as the line. So he put a telephone in the house, and we was answering the phone. But my mom ran the street. My mom didn't sell drugs. She didn't drink. She didn't smoke. She didn't do none of that. She just ran the streets. Like she sold drugs, you know. So she just ran the streets all day. So what she'd do is she'd have me or my older sister answer the line. She'd have us answer the line, and then she would bribe us with things like, I'm gonna buy y'all that new Nintendo game. I'll buy y'all a new pair of shoes. You know, that's why I say, like, man, even education wasn't even on the forefront, because she'll wake us up some mornings and say, do you want to go to school? Like, a child shouldn't have an option whether they want to go to school or not. You know, she'll say, you want to go to school? That's good, because I need you to answer the phone. You know, and we would sit there, and the phone would ring literally from like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning to like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, the next morning, like it was like a real job. And it'd be times she'll come in and we'll be knocked out sleep at 9, 10 o'clock at night, and she'll wake us up like, my uncle done paged her and asked her, man, ain't nobody answering the phone. Why ain't nobody answering? She'll come home. Why y'all not answer the phone? Because I'm 10 and I'm tired and I want to go to bed. You know,
baby, can I watch cartoons, please? I'm supposed to have 12 hours of sleep now.
Exactly. And I want to watch Rugrats. How about that? I want to watch Doug. Okay.
Listen.
But the thing about it is, you know what? I was so in love, infatuated with my uncle, and I knew that I was doing something for him, that I really wanted to do it. Like I wanted to do it as a 10-year-old child, 11-year-old child. I wanted to do it, you know, because I always wanted to make my uncle proud of me. Because I never had no man figure around me besides my foster dad. And I know my foster dad wouldn't have never put me in a situation like that, you know? So when we came home, and as you read the book, I just talk about how close I was with my uncle, like how he used to sit me down and talk to me about certain things and tell me certain things. And I was infatuated with that. So man, that's how the phone incidents went.
Yeah. Wow. And it's so amazing how much influence people can have and they don't even know it, because you were looking, like you said, just to serve him. So he could have had you go to school. Right. He could have had you go to college. He could have had you do anything. I mean, I think sometimes we take that for granted, right? What type of influence we have and what we're impressing upon people.
But can I counter some with that, sir?
Yes,
even with that, right? Just like I said, like, man, kids hear what you say, but they actually are paying attention to what you're doing. So in order to know that it is an alternative, you have to see that it is an alternative. So how can you tell me to go to school when you don't go to school? How can you tell me to go get a job and don't sell drugs when this is what I see you doing? When you pulling up on us with the Porsches and the drop top Cadillac Lantes and all this and all that, how could you look at me and tell me school is the best thing for me when you're not going to school when school ain't the best thing for you, because I'm not listening to what you're saying. I'm watching what you're doing. I'm watching your lifestyle, and your lifestyle is really promising to me. Like, I don't, because see, as a 10-year-old child, we don't know the dangers that's in selling drugs. We don't know there's penitentiary chances in selling drugs. We don't know that lives going to be lost in selling drugs. We just see the things, the stuff, all the stuff. You know, we don't understand the chaos that is causing, the families. You know, it's breaking up families, mamas and daddies coming to sell their kids clothes and food stamps and anything for this habit. But we don't, as a child, we don't see that. We just see what we see. So when I only see what I see, you can't tell me not to sell drugs. You can't tell me to go to school, because I'm not trying to hear none of that.
Yeah, not at 10.
There was years ago, I attended this other church, a Baptist church, and there was a guy that came in, and he was trying to make a point, and he was telling us about a lady who was teaching how to teach Sunday school. And so she said, I don't have enough time to teach you, so pay attention to, you know, the notes I'm gonna do it in short form. And she literally went through how to do it. You know, she told them the correct way to do it, but she did it the short way. And then when it came time for them to actually demonstrate it, all of them did it the short way. And his whole point was, people do what you do, not what you say do. Right. And he, you know, he took kind of a roundabout way of showing us that, but it was such an amazing illustration. So I agree 100%. And that's why, going back to the influence, right? You do have the power to impress things upon people, but it is more important that we are actually doing right what it is that we tell them to do. Speaking back to what you were just saying about some of the risks of selling drugs and, you know, breaking up families and selling everything that they have, you had talked about how your mom's, I believe it was your mom's boyfriend, or was it one of your siblings' fathers?
My sibling's father.
Okay. How he was addicted to drugs, and how there was no furniture in the house. Anything that you had, he would sell it. He was violent with your mother, and at one point he even pulled out a gun on you. Now that's when I was like, well, first of all, every other page I was like,
no. And when he kicked you in the stomach, I was like,
oh, I know, right? And I was like, if I was the mom, I'd kill him.
Yes, you know? Like, now we gotta fight. Now to the death.
Right. To the death. We should do him.
Jesus.
Finish him.
Yes.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. That's a lot.
But yeah, that always made me wonder, you know, how, and again, you know, you did talk about how your foster family helped impress upon you how to show love, but it always made me wonder, since you did spend a lot of time with your mom, right, and she was unfortunately absent a lot, right, your dad was absent, and then the boyfriend was in and out, and he was addicted to drugs, and he was violent, he pulled out a gun on you. What does love even mean to you?
And that's a great question, because to be honest with you, I didn't know what love was. I didn't know. Because even my foster parents, they showed me that love, but I really, as a child, you really don't know how to grasp that love. You really don't know how to take that love in. You take it for granted while you're there, while I was in their midst. You take it for granted, because only thing you understand as that tender age is, I just get to be a kid, not understanding that it's really love that allows you to be a child. You know what I'm saying? So when going back to my mom and going back and going through all the stuff that I've been through, it makes you, it just makes you resentful. It makes you very, very resentful. You know, you get to the point where you stop believing in your mom. I stopped believing in her. I didn't think that she could protect us, you know, because she couldn't protect herself, you know. So how I was looking at it is like, how can you say that you actually love us when you're steady putting us in harm's way? And to me, it wasn't even the part of the selling drugs that was putting us in harm's way. It was this guy that you was letting come in, abuse all of us, you know, that was putting us in harm's way. And you knew that the guy meant no good. The guy was no good. And there's no knock to him, because now that I'm older, I understand he was battling something. He was battling an addiction. And I'm not gonna say that he loved my mom. he cared for my mom, but he loved his addiction. You know, that's what he loved. And by any means necessary, he was going to get his fix. So if that meant selling our shoes, selling the food out the refrigerator, you know, beat my mom up, taking her money and doing all that, as long as he was satisfied, nothing else mattered. So with me, that just, it really just started the process of me turning my heart to a cold-hearted person to say, you know what? F him, F them, F the world, I'm out here. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of, if as I watch society evolves right now, that's what a lot of my young brothers they going through right now, because us as parents, what we fell in that is we make these kids believe that, you know, I'm going to always be here. I'm going to see Jordans cost $50 when you 2 years old. They $200 when you 12 years old. So when you going out, you buying all the Jordans and the Trues and all this and all that, and you got the Walmart job, and there's no knock to the mom or the dad with the Walmart job. What you're making these kids believe is this is going to happen forever. So now when they get to the point where now that I'm 12 and 13, that my shoe size is a 12 or a 13 and the $50 shoes ain't coming no more. So now it's like, now the kids start having resentment because you really never set them down and made them appreciate what was going on, made them appreciate, you know, the little things that you're doing, made them appreciate your struggle. I'm struggling. I do this when I can. I can't do this. You got to get to an age that, man, let's put these kids with some type of responsibility. No responsibility, no accountability. It's just now. So now when they can't get the things, what they do, they run the other way. They disrespecting mom, they disrespecting grandma. Y'all ain't never did nothing for me. Y'all ain't never did this. Y'all ain't never did that, because they're basing love off of things and not actual love. And that's a lot of it is because that's the way we breed them. You know, we breed them to you know, glamify the shoes and the clothes, and look what my baby got on, and we did the party, and you know, I mean, I know y'all know people that does this. You got a $600 check, and you will go spend $500 on a baby birthday party. This kid don't even want the birthday party. You want the birthday party to make you feel good.
Okay, the kid don't even know that it's their birthday.
For the kid. Listen.
Yeah. Wow.
Listen, go ahead and talk to me, because I was definitely about to spend some money, but then I'm like, wait a minute, this is a kid. Like, you're not getting this. Let me check myself, because now
my question is always, is it in the budget?
Listen,
if it's not in the budget, then
it was not. No, I was out. Like, this is a child. Let's remember that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So there was also a point where your uncle gave you a garbage bag full of money, looking like a bag of money. That's what came to my mind when I read that part in the story. And so, you know, you had talked about how you were trying to hide some of it in the house, some of it you had on you. I think your mom came in the room and woke up.
It was his aunt.
Oh, the aunt came in, and it was money everywhere. And I'm like, I don't know that I've seen $250,000 in cash money.
Ever. Well, I worked at a bank, so maybe
you have. I have not.
But it wasn't my money, so like different.
You probably was like, "Dang, I gotta count this." No, but like, and also at such a young age.
You were like what, 10 years old, 9, 10? I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, but I was like, I think I was like 12. I think I just had turned 12 years old in California, because we had went to California to see his two sons for winter break. And I think I had turned 12 in California. So when we got back, we actually had to cut our trip short because somebody had robbed one of his drug houses. So when we got back, one of his guys picked us up from the Union Station downtown, the Amtrak station. And he took me to my auntie house, because that's where we were staying. That's where me and my brothers and sisters were staying at the time, because we wasn't with our mom again, you know. And this when I believe my uncle, all the conversations and the talks, and this is where he put his confidence in me at, because it was either because what he was giving me, if I said or did the wrong thing, everybody in the house could have been killed or anything. All I had to do was go outside and do the wrong thing, you know? And I think he trusted me so much in that. So he sat me down. He told all my other brothers and sisters to go in the room. He sat me down. He said, nephew, listen, it's $50,000 I'm putting in your pocket. And it's $250,000 in this garbage bag. He said, and don't go to sleep until your auntie get here. But at the end of the day, you still got to think, I'm 12 years old. My auntie don't get off work till 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, she don't have a car or anything like that. So she taking public transportation. So it's going to take her another hour and a half to get to the crib. So you're basically telling me to stay woke from 7, 8 o'clock at night to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, which is impossible as a child back then. You know, when it wasn't no social media or anything like that to keep you awake, or it wasn't no, you know, PlayStation 5s and all that we playing to the wee hours of the morning. So that was actually the first day that I found out that my uncle sold drugs. Like I never knew what he did. I just knew that we answered the phone, but I never knew what he did at all. So, but that was the first day, because as we was in the car ride, his friend talking, they talking, and I'm just listening, you know? Right. So this is the first day when I found out that he sold drugs. And this was the first day that I told myself, I'm going to sell drugs. Like I'm not going to school. I'm not doing nothing. I'm going to be a drug dealer. You know, right. When he left, I went in the bathroom, and man, I grabbed some of the money out the bag. I'm in the mirror. You know, if we did have social media at that time, man, I'd have taken selfies and everything, you know. I mean, I'm talking about because I'm like, sis, like, man, I'm looking at $250,000 in a bag. Like, do you see? Back in the 90s, you know how much money that was? That was like the equivalent to like $1 million right now.
Hey,
listen, I would have been good.
$250,000. Listen, I would have been good too. Like, all right,
good.
We're in a good space. But your auntie had it. She was like, all right, let me get some new furniture.
I know. Auntie was like, oh, the real flex is about to be this house. Okay.
She was
I got some furniture, but it's about to be brand
new.
Okay. No, but that was really my whole point of bringing it up, is that I think that you know was pretty pivotal, right? Because that's where the aspiration, that's where everything connected, and you were like, oh, I know what I'm gonna do. Like this the new plan.
And 12 years old, I think, is a pivotal age as well. Like it's that coming of age in terms of development. It's like that coming of age type of time in your life, especially for a young man. Like, okay, I kind of think I'm feeling myself. I'm a little grown. I might have a few hairs under my armpits or on my face or something. So I'm like, I'm about to be out here. So it is.
Now like I got the money. I'm that dude.
Listen, I'm that dude.
Okay?
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Yeah. So there was a part where you say, you know, like selling drugs breeds gangs breed violence. Like you kind of make the whole connection. And I feel like it was around this time when he was like, okay, I'm gonna sell these drugs. Well, you had already kind of started, I guess, claiming the gang.
Yeah.
But this is where you called yourself the send-off man. So you it literally was your job to beat folks.
To beat the right. And when we got here, I was like, how did we get here? Yes. I said, yes. Like I was like, how did we get here? So that like the story started progressing. I was like, oh wait.
This story progresses at such a rapid pace.
Yes.
You can't blink.
How are you beating the kids up?
Right.
Like, beating up everybody.
Right. I got questions. So first of all, okay. Being that you did see your, I'm gonna call him your stepdad.
Okay.
After mom, he's like, all right, whatever. Whatever. Call him whatever you want. No, but being that you did witness him beating your mom, so obviously you weren't necessarily beating women, right? But you were sort of the intimidator of the group. Like that was your job, right? To instill fear in other kids. How did you rationalize that in your mind?
And the thing about it is, it all went from learning this type of behavior from older guys that was around me that was having me do these acts, you know, and my thing was trying to fit in. I'm just trying to fit in with them. I'm just trying to, because this was my uncle on my dad's side, on my biological dad's side, that had me doing this when I come to my grandma project building. So they would have me running up and down the projects every day. Any little guy that they got into it with over the week, on the weekends when I came over there, they had me beat them up. Not understanding at the time. I'm not understanding because I'm trying to fit in, but I'm not understanding. It's really, it's calculating, and it's really having me disconnect from humanity as a child, because now I don't have no fear. I don't care about nobody. So all of these older people that's supposed to be loving me and nurturing me and helping me get to this level, or go off to college and go be all you could be and do all this, they're really tearing me down while they think they building me up. Mm-hmm. You know, they only thing they really building for me, they're building me a coffin, or they're building me a jail cell. And it's really them that's building it, because I'm so naive as a 11, 12-year-old child. And you got your uncle, one of your favorite uncles that you love being around, 16, 17 years old. You don't think as that child that he would tell you to do something wrong. Mm-hmm. So when he say, man, Shorty did this to me, you don't understand how to ask the question of, well, what did you do to him?
Right. How did you incite this? Right.
Right. How is you interacting as a 17-year-old, almost an adult man? How is you interacting with this 11, 12-year-old kid? Right. But as a 11, 12-year-old kid myself, we don't know how to ask those questions. Only thing we know is you did something to my uncle and he told me to beat you up, so I'm gonna beat you up. Now, what if the shoe would have been on the foot? What if they'd have been beat me up?
Right.
So now what?
Exactly. Yeah. And not only that, but the thing to always remember, right, is that when people do stuff to other people, we always think, but they ain't gonna do that to me. Yeah. Oh, as soon as they get the opportunity, it's coming.
Yep. Like you cannot decide how somebody's going to react to something that you've done to them.
Right.
Absolutely.
Crazy. And you don't get to pick how people react. You don't get to pick it.
Right.
You don't get to choose how people respond to you when you incite something in them. Right.
No,
absolutely.
And actually, it made me think about, so I told you that my stepdad is from Chicago. So he had some friends that were in gangs. He probably was too. I think he just don't want me to know. He just didn't tell you. He gave your girl the radio version, but whatever. Hilarious. I mean, if your friends was in the gang, she was in the gang. Listen, okay, but whatever. In any case,
in the 90s. Who was
whatever.
It? Okay,
but in any case, there was a point in time where his friends, they were two brothers, they fought, and one of them beat the other one so bad because he was something like, when they start fighting, something just went off in his head. Like, I'm fighting to the death because this is what I do. I'm beating the brakes off.
And they were brothers?
Oh yeah, they were brothers. But he didn't mean to do it.
Oh, okay.
He did not, that was not his intention, but that was the impact. Because he just, something clicked. Snapped. And they couldn't get him off.
Wow.
And he is not the same till this day.
He had a
because it something
or
clicked.
PTSD or
PTSD, something like that. But like, I think when you're trained that way, right, that's the only way you know how to do it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Wow.
And then it made me think about you, because there was a point where you talked about how people end up dead or hurt, then the smoke clears and you can't take it back. And there was a time where you fought somebody and you ended up breaking the guy's leg. So he didn't die, thank God. Right?
Thank God.
Like, I did break his leg. So I was wondering, did you ever make amends with people, or like, how do you deal with regret?
Well, you know what, the thing about it is, like, even with the little shorty who I broke his leg with the cane, right? Mm-hmm. I was told to do that by an older guy that I was with. If you want to join this gang, do this. And I didn't know the young man, never seen him a day in my life, but when I did it, I felt bad. I did feel bad. That was the first time as a child that I ever did something to a child and felt bad about it, and really was scared that I was going to go to jail behind it. But at the end of the day, is when I'm around these older guys that's telling me, chill, Stop tweaking, man. You ain't nothing gonna happen to you, and here we go again. You are putting you are separating me from humanity. You guys are separating me from humanity. Mm-hmm. So you're teaching me how to be cold-hearted and heartless. You're teaching me how to not to care about nothing that goes on. Either they gonna get you or you gonna get them. So I'm taught this. I'm just like the guy you were just saying with the brothers now. It was a lot of it was taught by him, but a lot of it was over the years frustration. Mm-hmm. It was just all over the years, and it came out on his brother. You know what I'm saying? And that's how a lot of it in those streets be. And like I tell guys all the time, 30 seconds will get you 30 years.
Man, seriously,
that part will get you 30 years if you not thinking. And the thing about it is and that's the part where you have to have those people around you that know how to talk you down. And know how to talk you down in a way where they're not saying you stupid or you gonna go to jail or you dumb, and just have a different perspective to let you see. And a lot of us don't have that. That's why so many young men and young women every single day, they are going to jail because they don't have nobody in their corner to talk them down and ask them, well, let's think about this. What if this happened? What if that happened? And it's just, man, get the gun, I'm gone. And they got somebody with them saying, yeah, go kill them.
And that's right. They talk about in the Bible having wise counsel, right? Yeah. Because look, if you got somebody hot-headed, then you're going to we're going to incite more of the same thing.
And you don't want to look weak or like a sucker or something. So
yeah,
it's
exactly.
it's that peer pressure too. Like, oh, I got to do it.
Right. Now I got to do it. Right. And that's why, sometimes it's good to have somebody to be like, just let it go.
Absolutely.
Don't respond. Don't engage.
Don't
engage. And you ladies know what? And a lot of the things that men, and this don't have nothing to do with just black men, it's just men in general. What we deal with is from birth. Just we so similar to Mother Earth. And a lot of people don't really understand that. Like I put a message out there about a week ago about this. Like we're so similar to Mother Earth that it's a shame. And men of all nationalities, we are so stripped from the day that we're born. We are stripped from our natural resources of love and compassion, because from the time that a man is brought out the womb, our mothers, our uncles, auntie, the first thing they're telling us to do is they're saying, stop being a punk, stop crying, don't do this, boys don't do that, men don't do this. Why shouldn't I be able to show my emotions? Mm-hmm. Why shouldn't I be able to show my feelings? So when you telling me to suppress that, what you're doing is just like global warming right now. When you're taking all my natural resources away from me, guess what? Global warming is going to happen within me. Now I'm going to blow up. When I do blow up, now I'm the mass murderer. I'm the killer. I abuse women. I do everything because you have told me all my life to detach myself from my feelings, to detach myself from my emotions. And then when I do something wrong, you want to throw me in jail and give me 100 years. But this is what you taught me. This is what society has taught me all of my life. And that's men of all color. That's just not black men. That's men of all color. Because we see all men of all color do heinous things to women and other people. And if you listen to their stories, all their stories are so similar, how they was taught how not to care. How do you telling me not to care, but then you telling me I'm supposed to get a wife?
Right.
How do I get a wife?
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. But I had to go and find the post because I do recall you posting that, and I put that in the group. It says, "Morning family, Mother Earth is so similar to men. As humanity strips Mother Earth of its natural resources, we have what we call global warming." Now that the things that made Mother Earth, the earth is being taken away, Mother Earth is reacting in a violent way. Droughts, wildfires, flooding, strong hurricanes, tornadoes. If you look all over the world, these things are happening everywhere and it's killing millions. Now we have men. Since birth, men have been taught to suppress their feelings and show no emotion. Being able to love and show emotion is part of our DNA and it's natural resources that God put in all of us. But when you strip boys of this, they grow up to be violent men. When you tell boys to shut up, stop crying, stop acting like a girl, be a man, you're stripping that child of his natural resources. When this boy grows into a man, now he's heartless, cold blooded, angry, abusive, a stone cold killer. Who are we to blame? Global warming is real, and not just on our planet, but our men as well. Together, we can stop global warming by loving one boy at a time. Love your family, be great today.
I love that. And because it's true.
It is true. But it made me think about when I think you were at your grandmother's house and your mom didn't know you were there and you got in trouble. And eventually you came home and then your mom was like, what the F is wrong with you? And you had said in there, you had said in there like, I understand what she was trying to do, but she just didn't do it in a way that I could receive it. She actually was talking down to me and making me feel stupid, And so that made me wonder, how do you parent today? You said you have how many children?
I have 11.
11. So how do you correct your children in a loving way?
Absolutely. And what age range children do you have?
Please tell us the age range.
From my oldest son is 24, my youngest daughter is 10.
Oh wow, okay.
And in between. But one thing that I've learned, and I've learned this over the past years of being saved and being in church, that first of all, I always have to be their dad. Like regardless of what they do, I always have to be their dad. One thing that I never do is I never use the "I told you so." I never use that with my children. Even when they do something that I don't agree with, I always try to get them to understand what they did. Because I always want to put it back on them. I always want to put it, what could you have done better? What could you have said better? Or how could you have reacted to this better? Because if I go in and I'm yelling and screaming, oh, you stupid, and not what I just did. Not only did I just mess up with our relationship, but I just made them feel like I'm going to go try to prove a point to my dad that I can do X, Y, and Z. And when children try to prove points, which they really don't have a point to prove, and they shouldn't be trying to prove a point, it always gonna end up the wrong way, because they all out of anger, and it's all out of frustration, and it's all out of just, like I said, trying to prove that point. So I've learned how to sit down and, just like the Bible say, do love and kindness. I just be loving and kind with them. I talk to them, even if the act that they did is not something that I agree with, I still sit them down and let them understand. Even when I'm chastising them and they get in trouble, I make them understand why they got in trouble. Do you understand why this was the wrong idea? Why you shouldn't have did that? And when you get them to start understanding that, then they start saying like, yeah, you right. You right, Dad. I could have handled that in a whole different manner. Not meaning that I'm not still upset with them, but I think as parents, a child should never feel like I can't come to my mom and dad and talk to them.
Yeah.
I can't do that, because they're gonna lose their mind. They're gonna go crazy and all that. Yeah, I might not like what you done, but you still got to talk to me and let me understand, because I need to understand why you did that. And what we forget as parents is these are children. So a lot of the stuff that they do, we did.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They get it from us.
Yeah. We've said something like that too. Like, parents are just niggas too.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they was kids too at one point.
Yeah.
So
and I think sis, that's where a lot of parents go wrong at, because they forget to say, I was once a child, and I once did some things that my parents didn't agree with. And I probably did some things that my teachers didn't agree with. So why get mad? Why do you get that upset at a child, where a child got to be stupid and you get on my nerves and I hate you, and that them harsh words to tell anybody, but to your child, to somebody that you birthed, that's cold.
And it's name calling.
It is.
It literally is. That's abusive.
You plant them
It
seeds.
is.
You plant those seeds. Now
Yep.
I'm not
Yes.
good enough. I'm
Yep.
dumb. I'm stupid.
Yep.
I can't get nothing right.
It's
So let me
gonna
go out here and keep
manifest.
being stupid.
Absolutely, it's gonna manifest in that way.
Actually, when I was with my god sister, we were talking about how, you know, parents in the back in the day, they used to say, "Cause I said so."
Yeah, oh, I say
And
that.
we were like, "Ooh, we never want to be them type
Right.
of parents, because if I can't tell you the train of thought,
Yeah.
then how can I expect you to apply it if you
Mhm.
don't
Right.
understand it?"
Right.
Right? If it's just because I said so, then how much weight does that really hold? Because sometimes I
Absolutely.
may not say right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But now it's just because I said so, and it's like, and having kids not be able to question.
I was just gonna say
question
that.
me.
That's
Look,
the
do it respectfully.
listen,
But question
Absolutely.
me.
and that's how I feel. Like and people look at my son sometimes like, dang, he kind of talk reckless, but I give him that to be like, we need to have this conversation. Now he is a Sagittarius, so he do say whatever is on his mind.
Child.
But I want him to do that, because if when things do get rough or he does do something and make a mistake, like I need him to be able to communicate and verbally tell me like what's going on.
Yeah. And
I
that's the
mean,
same
every child,
thing.
every child has a tongue, so that means they has a voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you
That
strip
part.
them from that, when you strip them from that voice, then what do they have?
Yeah.
Now
Nothing.
they just react. They just do stuff.
Or
now
they suppress.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. And now what they doing? They seeking attention. And
Yeah.
and most of the time they seek the wrong attention.
The wrong
And
attention.
that's when they go to the schools and act a fool and curse the teachers out, because a lot of the stuff be when Miss Betsy is doing the teaching and he cursed. I really want to curse my mama out, but I can't curse her out, so I'm gonna curse you out. You know what I'm saying? And a lot, and man, I taught school for 5 years. Man,
That's great. That just made me think of that, because I'm an educator too. So I'm like, that is so true. Like the kids be wilding out because that's how they get it out. They can't do it at home, so they get to school and they like just, it's that combustion. It's that Mother Earth. Like now I'm up to here. Like I've had it, so I'm about to take it out on you.
Absolutely.
That's true. And this is so crazy because my niece, she's 4, and she got a lot to say, y'all. But the reason why I let it go, because they're like, you know, I'm not going to.
Yeah,
okay.
No.
Because I would never want to silence her. She advocates for herself and other people like nobody. Look, if something ever happens, she gonna tell.
She is.
I know that.
And when she say no, like that means no. Like I don't want to hug you. No,
exactly.
I don't want to.
And she's firm on it. Even little stuff like that. Like no, she'd be like, "But TT, I don't want to hug him."
And
like,
that's okay.
Then don't do it.
That is fine.
Okay.
You don't have to.
Don't do it. Look, he could be trying to molest you for all I know. Look, don't do it.
Absolutely.
But man, there's so many gems here, man.
It is so much. But I want to know too, before we jump into something else as well. But just thinking, like you've experienced so much at a young age as well. So do you think you've experienced some type of PTSD?
Absolutely.
I said it wrong. PTSD. Yes.
Absolutely. Especially I don't want to get a book away, because you know it's a volume 1, volume 2 to the book.
Okay, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, part 2.
because I left y'all on the end of the cliff on volume 1. Y'all gonna be like, no, I got to go get volume 2 because it finished breaking down everything. But and I actually went through that and that. Listen. When I'm telling you with the shaking and the can't sleep and the medicine, and I had to do that and endure that for like a year and a half. You know, that's how I ultimately end up really start smoking marijuana so heavily because of that, because I really didn't like the way the medicine was doing me. But I started because it helped me sleep through the night. So I started smoking marijuana. You know, because the marijuana calmed me down and it helped me sleep through the night. But when you live in a type of life where you walk out the door and the guy that you with, he get gunned down in your face, you know, and the people throwing cocktail bombs, Molotov cocktail bombs
on a baby.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that type of stuff, like if as you read the book, you will see like, man, we slept with clothes on. Like we slept with shoes on and clothes on. Like this was our everyday. This was our normal. Like this was every day was our normal. When you did take your clothes off, or you would never take your pants off, but when you took your shoes and your coat off, if it was wintertime outside, you made sure everything was right there so you could jump up and slide in just like a fireman and be gone. You know, and that when you live like that, how could you really, how are you really living? Is that really living?
Right.
Is that really so are you really getting a good night's sleep? Are you really it don't matter if you sleep for 5 hours or you sleep for 15 hours. Are you really in a good night's sleep? Because every time you hear some tap on the door, tap on the window, you jumping up saying, who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? So yeah, have I ever experienced something like that? Yes. Yes.
Man. Paranoid, I can't sleep. I'm in the street.
Yes, man, it's real. That street life is real, and you wrote it so well to make us really realize it and kind of get a glimpse of the life that you were living at that time. And I do think there is that grace and mercy and that redemption at the end to say, okay, this was my life and this is who I was, but this is not who I am.
This is not who I am.
Yes, that part. This
I
is
changed
not
my
who
mind.
I am. Absolutely. Psych. I was just kidding. That's not
just
me.
playing with you. This ain't me, dog.
Yes, man.
Yeah, and speaking of that, like you had talked about a point where you were trying to fit in and you went to your first real party and you were talking about how, you know, people were drinking and so you were doing that just to fit in and it was beer and you were like, this don't even taste good, but I'm about to fake the funk, so here I am. And then you said, never let someone else lower your standard to make them happy. Real friends respect your morals and your values. And I feel like throughout the book, you would always talk about what you did, how you felt in the moment, and then it's like, and by the way, here's a little nugget. Now, moving on.
Right. Here's the next story.
Right, now next story. Like, here's my takeaway from
this. And it was like a to-go box.
It was a little to-go box because it makes me think about like different times where like anytime you could be out and you could be like, oh no, I'm not drinking, and people have a whole fit. Like, what? But what about this? I said I wasn't drinking.
I said what I said.
Right. Or you want some of this? No, I don't want any of this.
Yeah.
Just a little. No, but like if you was like, I'm not drinking water, nobody cares.
No.
Right. Absolutely.
Say that again. They don't care.
Right. If you don't drink a lick of water all day, nobody cares at all. But the second that you refuse, and it's so weird to me because you could be the person there not telling other people not to do stuff. You like do whatever you do. I'm just telling you what I'm not doing, and I'm only bringing it up because you asked. Yeah. But the second that you say no, why do people feel the need to make you engage in the stuff that they engage in?
That peer pressure, man.
And you know what? And you know what? Once again, I think I was like 11 years old when that happened. And once again, I was with an older cousin, like 17, 18 years old, that first of all shouldn't have even had me and my other cousin that was with me, with him, you know, going to no party like that. But instead of, you know, telling us the right thing to do and telling his guys, like, man, don't give my little cousin, you know what I'm saying, nothing to drink. Even if we were with him, you still supposed to protected us. Yeah. You still supposed to watch over us, you know. And it was far as that when, like I say all the time, man, people, when it's not, even with my cousin that was with us, he didn't do anything wrong. He just did what he knew. He did what somebody did to him. Yeah. And so he thought that he was doing something. He thought he was making us a man. I'm going to make you a man. I'm going to make you a man. You know, so he thought, you know, and that, you know, letting us drink the beer and letting us drink the alcohol and all this, he was making us a man, not understanding, because he's not understanding what you're turning us into. You know, he's not looking at it that, you know, why would I want my little cousin them to turn out like me? How can you say, why do I want somebody to turn out like me when you think you good?
Yeah.
How could you say that?
That's true.
That's it.
When you think your life is perfect, so when you think ain't nothing wrong with your life, so why wouldn't I want my little cousin them to be just like me? Why wouldn't I want my children, my son or my daughter to be just like me when you don't see nothing wrong with you? So and that's really what it was. And that and even with the consequences that happened with that, it really was no consequence behind that. It was no, my grandmama told me if the next time you want to drink, you better go to your mama house and go drink. She never even told my mama we was drinking.
Right. And that's true. You also said that about your mom. You said there was no accountability and there was no consequences.
Yeah.
I mean, well, how could you hold me accountable when you ain't never there?
Yeah. Right. Hey,
you outside.
You got to be present.
Right. Yeah,
you gotta be present.
You outside, but I do love how throughout the story, like you talk about your family members, but you don't like dog them out. Like you always say, well, this was their environment. This is all they know. So some people hold on to that resentment and they're like, yeah, like my mom was trash. Like I hate her. I can't stand her. But you did not fix your lips to write any of that in this about anybody in your family.
And you know what, sis, where that comes from? That comes from being saved. That comes from having a relationship with God. That comes from having the understanding to know that, know how to dissect certain things and say they only knew what they only taught me what they knew. And that's with that forgiving heart to say, you know what, I forgive you because you did know no better. Just what did Jesus say when he was on the cross? Lord, forgive them because they don't know what they do. So a lot of people struggle with a lot of things that happen in their past because they don't know how to forgive. See, I forget even right now, my mom, my sisters and brothers now, they all mad at the book. They don't talk to me. They don't do, and it's nothing. And like I explained to them, especially in book 2, the last chapter of book 2, when after I finished explaining everything that went on with me in my life, I explained this book was not written to throw anybody under the bus. This book was my truths. You cannot get mad about my truth. This book was not to make nobody look like they was a bad mother. Make nobody look like that. My biological father, he read the first book, and he was talking about how he was finna get a lawyer to sue me. Sue me for what? What you suing me for?
No, Lord.
But the thing about it, even with that being said, I'm still not mad at him. I'm still not upset with you because I get it. Because you're not looking at, oh, I'm proud of my son that you wrote a book. You looking at what can I get from the book. See, I know how to dissect that. I understand that. And that's fine. You can do that. That's why when God gave me to write the book, I didn't put names in the book. I didn't even put phony names in the book. So if you wasn't with me, if you wasn't around me, you have no idea who I'm talking about. If you don't know me personally, you don't even know my mom. You know what I mean? So a lot of the things that as I did it strategically, God led me to do it a certain type of way because he knew all of this was coming. He knew all of the backlash and the hatred and all that. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. It's not that about the book, me writing my story is the problem. It's me writing the book is the problem. Because so many people out here, they don't want, they never seen this. They never seen this coming. So they wanted to be the one to write you in jail, sending you the money, have to put money on their books or put the GoFundMe page up because somebody done killed you. So when you turn your life around, they don't know how to grasp that. They don't want that because since they not God and they don't see what God has for you in your life, they want to dictate your outcome of your life. Because they already had me in the jail for the rest of my life. They already had me in dead in a box somewhere. So now that my life done went a whole nother way, that's the part that they don't like. It's not even about the book.
You know what? You said a whole lot.
And I'm like, where can we send the offering? Because you just said
it was a whole lot. So first of all, when you were talking about your family, right? So you're like, I'm intentionally not trying to throw shade, but y'all are taking it that way. Yeah. And it could be because that's how they feel, right? They could really truly be offended by the book, but I think that a lot of times we have to look at what people need, right? And to me, when I see you write this book, I feel like there was some healing in this writing. I feel like there was a shift in this writing. I feel like this book is going to save a lot of people. Absolutely. So although, they may feel a certain type of way, this is serving you and it's serving other people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, sometimes you got to look at the purpose, right?
The bigger
and
picture.
then when you talk about the fact that, they had already tried to dictate how you were going to end up, and they tried to, say where you're going to be. You had posted something the other day and I shared it in the group, and you were like, oh, today I got tested. People were saying, oh, I see your little book, I see, look, it's the microaggressions for me, honey.
Right,
It's
not the little book.
and that's how you know where the shade is.
Listen.
It's always in those micro. That's why you got to pay attention to the microaggressions.
Yes.
But in any case, you had said, they're really not mad at my change. They're mad at their same.
Yep.
And I said, where do I send the offering?
Where? Oh my God. That is a word.
Because same thing about how you said, when your mother or whomever is trying to correct you and they're like, you stupid, you this, you that. Well, we got to remember, because in the book you said, but your children are you. So are you really mad at them, or are you mad at you? Because this is what you bred. Right. This is who you are.
Wow.
So are they stupid, or do you feel like do you really kind of call
absolutely. You give me sis.
I do, because look, when people call you names, you got to always remember that's what they really want to call themselves.
It's a reflection.
Absolutely.
That is what they want to call themselves. That's why I don't call people names.
Listen. Wow.
Look, say whatever you want about me. But look, this is what Giannis said. He said they can say whatever they want about me, but they better say I'm a winner.
Listen. That's it. That's it.
They better say I'm a winner.
You better add that on in there.
Add that in there.
Add it on
you better say I didn't miss not one free throw in that last game.
Because what nobody is going to do is tell me what I cannot do. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But obviously we hate to hear, that your family is struggling with the acceptance of the book. But I hope that in due time that they can see the impact, and that they can
and get some healing for them.
Yeah, that they can kind of take a page. Look, you know how they say hate and admiration they're so close together, right? Where it's like, well, maybe they really admire you and they just don't know how to communicate that. But maybe you're really admiring my work and you want healing too.
Absolutely.
And you could just come ask me.
Right. Well, one thing I say, and I say this all the time, haters is just fans in denial.
Fans in denial.
I love that. Fans in denial.
So at the end of the day, you know what? I love my family. I love them to death, and I'm always gonna love them. I'm always gonna be open to sit down and have a discussion. I tell some of my cousins that I talk to all the time that I'm going to heal my family. Like, I'm going to heal them, like, because I love them that much. But at the end of the day, we all got our own free will to do whatever we want to do. I didn't write the book for them. I wrote the book for millions of young men out here, and young ladies out here that's going through the same exact thing that I'm going through, and I'm showing them, and through the grace of God and what God, the talent God gave me to write, He had me put down on this book in these pages how you can go from this to that, but you got to want it. Do you really want it? Who want it? See, it's easy to say I want to change. It's easy to say I'm going to change, but are you going to do that? Are you going to put it in motion and go ahead and do it? Even with my book, it took me 3 years too long to do it. It took me 3 years too long to do it. It should have never took me that long. It should have never took me that long to do it. But guess what? That's procrastination. Is really because I've never been around nobody that was consistent. I've never been around nobody, that was determined to do anything. I've never been around nobody that have set goals. We set drug dealer goals. Yeah, I want $100,000. I want to go buy the Benz. But are those really goals? Them not goals. A goal is leaving something for your children and their children. You're leaving a legacy with goals. See, I didn't know nothing about none of that type of stuff. So with everything that's going on in my life, you have to appreciate it. This is why I appreciate it, and I don't get mad. At first, I'm not gonna lie, it bothered me. It bothered me so bad. It hurt me because all of these people who I gave anything to, and anytime y'all called me, I was here, and I did this and I did that. Now that my life is going in a whole different direction, that you don't want to be bothered with me, and I had to learn this. I had to learn this with coaching and praying that Dale is not you. So stop taking offense to it. It's not you, it's them. So until they come to terms with themselves, they'll never be able to come to terms with what you're doing because they don't, because they like I said, they already done put you where they thought you was gonna be at. Yeah. They put you there already. So now for them to uncover you or take you out the jail cell, they got to admit that they wrong. Yeah, how many people out here can admit when you wrong? I was wrong. I apologize. I forgive me for being wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the accountability.
The accountability piece. Yeah. And but like you said, that ain't got nothing to do with you.
It ain't none of your business. That's how we see it. It really ain't none of your business. Your business is this book. It's this book. You didn't did what your assignment. Speaking your truth. You didn't did what you were supposed to do. We have done our assignment.
There we go. Yes.
And you have done yours. And that's really what it's all about. So I, of course, have to ask, what do you feel that your purpose is?
You know what? I believe God placed me on this earth. I believe everything that I went through in my life was designed by God. I believe that because even at the beginning, my foster parents had the option to adopt me and my brother. Wow. You know, but however, some went through the cracks that they allowed my mama to get us back. So all of that was part of God's plan. All of that was a part of me going through everything that I had to go through, every situation, every trial, tribulation, people turning their backs on me. Everything that I went through was a part of the plan that God had for me. So now my purpose is to go out every single day and make somebody else's life better, to pump encouragement and pump influence and pump and just let people know every single day that you can do it. Don't let nothing or nobody stand in your way and tell you because you got a felony, because you was a teenage mother or dad, because you dropped out of school, whatever your faults is, guess what? We all have them. But it's up to you to overcome them. So I believe God placed in me the courage and the boldness to step to anybody on any circle and on any place in the world and influence them in a positive manner and just let them know, hey man, let me tell you, when you get to listening to my story, now let me hear your story and tell me you can't make it.
I know that's right, because I was like, my story ain't
nowhere near. Listen, ain't nowhere near. I have never seen the likes of the things that you've seen.
I was like, oh my God.
And I don't want to. But they say that, we all have our issues. And if everybody threw their issues and their problems in the pile, we're going to pick ours back up. For sure.
If we had the option.
I'm running.
On your story, on mine. You know what?
I'm going to take running to take mine. Like, take I don't.
Mine, please.
And just listen to what y'all saying. Now, just listen to this. Now, what y'all saying, and then my story. Now, guess what? It's somebody out the story that's worse than mine.
Absolutely. So you're going to pick your same story, right? Because look, this is the devil that I know. Okay.
Right. So that's why with my story, I love telling it because I know for a fact it can help some. It might not save the world, but it can save some.
It'll save whoever it's caused, whoever you're assigned to.
Yes, absolutely. So man, that's why I just say, man, every single day I wake up and I try to be better than I was yesterday, and I try to impact somebody else's life every single day. I'm trying to impact you some type of way. I'm gonna try to influence you some type of way, because eventually it's gonna click. We just need somebody to bring it out of us. Guess what? I had to get around the Marlon Locks of the world, Dimitri Beekmans and Lamont Smiths and all. They brought it out of me because I didn't know. Only thing I thought I was good at was selling drugs and messing with women. That's the only thing I thought I was good at. Then God gave me a wife that set me down and showed me you can love one woman. You can be faithful to one woman. Then he put me around men that showed me how to love my wife, how to love my children, it's okay to go out and go get a 9-to-5 and work and have dreams, open your own business and do things like that. But until I got around those type of people, until I was open-minded to say, you know what, these guys ain't lame. Because them the guys we used to, man, they lame, man. They lame. Because you making the tens and the 20s of the thousands of dollars a day. You seeing all this money coming through. But one thing that money can't do, it can't give you peace. Now that I got that peace,
you can't.
Man, I'm straight. I'm good.
We always be talking about peace, child. But no, I agree. It's look, they say you are the sum of of the top 5 people that you hang around, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to know who's in your circle and who's in your corner. They say everybody in your circle ain't in your corner, right?
Absolutely.
I love it. Well, Mr. Wendell White, you've definitely impacted it on my life in this short time. And I cannot wait for part 2 of this book. I can't wait to finish this part and then just dive into part 2 because this is something
I can't wait to see the movie, child.
Listen, yes, this has to go on the screen because the way you said it in these words, like my mind was going, like I could see all of this happening.
I know. I was like, man, this is crazy.
When you was talking about Lakeshore Drive, I was like, that is so true. Like, like,
no, and there's so many stories that we didn't get to, and obviously we don't want to give everything away. But I was curious about that story where you got bit by that man. But we're gonna have to say that for another episode.
We definitely gonna have to have you back on. That's what it sounded like. Because this ain't long.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So we're gonna have to do a part 2.
Part 2. Because you have a part 2.
Absolutely.
So it's only fitting.
We absolutely have to do a part 2. Man, this has been for sure our pleasure. This has been great.
Absolutely. But before
we go, I appreciate you ladies, man.
We got to do our to-go box.
Yes.
So what are we taking away? I'm going to start with you, Bestie.
Definitely. Oh my God.
To-go box.
So many gems. But I think what's hitting at my heartstrings the most, because I am a parent as well, so a mom. So just making sure that, you know, I'm aware of the things that I do because my son is watching. And I think his father and I, we talk about that all the time. So shout out to co-parenting, but we talk about that. And it's like, okay, well, we could tell JR X, Y, and Z, but he's only going to respond to what he sees us doing. So, you know, we can't come together and co-parent and talk and have a civil conversation in regards to our child. Like, what is that going to do for him? So definitely that is what I'm leaving with, just making sure that I'm being an example and I'm being the woman that, you know, I want my son to respect and cherish and things like that by what I do.
That's what's up. That's what's up, sis. That's what's up.
And what are you taking away?
You know what, man? As I like watch y'all and view y'all, you guys, one thing I would like to take away from this is I love to see my sisters out here doing their thing. You know, just y'all doing y'all thing, man. Y'all keep encouraging, man. And you know, all women ain't out here, you know, trying to dance for no money and do stuff like that. Like, man, I just love to see people win. I love to see y'all. I love to see y'all win. You know, so I love to see what y'all doing. So my takeaway from this is just being able to be a part of greatness. Like, this is greatness. Like, what we doing, what you ladies are doing, this is great. This is awesome. You know, and I pray that God take y'all and open up doors for y'all that no man could ever close for you ladies. And y'all just keep on giving back. Keep on doing what y'all doing, because it's some women out here that's looking at you two ladies and they are inspired every single day saying, man, if sister can do, like my sister, one of my sisters went to school with y'all. And when she found out that I was doing, her name Cora Thompson.
Oh,
Corey, your sister.
Yeah, that's my flesh and blood sister. Got the same mama, man. That's my sister.
Wow, yes.
Yep.
Small world.
Very small world.
Yep. When they stayed in Milwaukee, I went back to Chicago, man. I couldn't do it.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Yes, we have to do that.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, man, as I watch y'all ladies just do y'all thing, man, I'm happy for y'all, man. And I just, man, keep doing what y'all doing, man. And my takeaway, man, is all women and young men that's following you ladies, man. They could just see, like, man, Black people can be successful and Black people can do things together without, you know, bickering and hating one another. You know, what y'all doing, like, even with y'all title, you know, besties, like, man, that should let you know, like, man, this is my best friend. We ain't gonna agree on everything, but guess what? We agree on what we agree on, you know, and we agree, we agree that we both great.
So, right, you know, that part.
So, man, I'm proud of y'all, man. Keep doing what y'all doing.
Thank you.
That was amazing. I'm not gonna start crying though. That was good. All right, last but not least.
You know what? My takeaway is alignment. So early on in this conversation, you were talking about how, you know, people do what you do, not what you say. And in the book, there was a part where you said that, and you were like, you know, when people's actions and words don't match up, that's manipulation. And I was like, that's a whole word.
That's
what that, call it what it is, bro. Say what it is, right?
Right.
And so that made me think, like, sometimes we can even be manipulating ourselves.
Absolutely.
Right? Because we claiming to be one thing and then we're doing something completely different. So it's just the alignment for me. I think that's what I'm taking away, is to make sure that I'm doing what it is that I say that I'm doing, that I am who I say that I am. And that whatever I'm telling other people to do, it's because I'm doing it, right?
Absolutely.
That it's all in alignment. And then also, obviously, being on the lookout for when people say one thing, child, and do it another.
There we
because
go.
look, if we're gonna call that manipulation, then it just is what it is.
Hey.
So that's what I'm taking away.
Awesome.
But yes, this has been amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for taking the time. We're gonna have to get you scheduled for part 2.
Yes.
The Devil Thought He Had Me. Thank you so much, Wendell, for coming on. You can purchase his book on Amazon. The link is definitely in the notes section.
Absolutely.
So make sure you do that. I believe it's also on Kindle. I think I saw it on Kindle. as well.
Yep. And where can people find you on social media or your website? You want to shout any of that out real quick?
Yep. You can find me I'm on Facebook at Author Wendell White. I'm on Instagram at Wendell W_24, the number 24, or you can go on my website at info@WendellWhiteSpeaks.com. I also have a mentoring program for men and for the youth men. And man, just listen, I don't want to run your life, but I just want to help you navigate through life. So if you got a husband, a brother, a son, or anybody that need to be mentored, that need to be just help, I'm willing to help them, man. Give me while I'm cheap, man. I $35 for the youth for 4 weeks, and $50 for the men for 4 weeks. And man, I'm just gonna try to get you to change the way you think. I could change the way you live.
Amen. Amen.
Thanks for tuning into Brunch with Besties podcast. Until next time.
Peace.